G'day guys. As you know, the GU Patrols tend to have a problem with a bubbling dash because of the glue they used in certain years, and in combination with the black leather. Start by grabbing this plastic fascia and just tearing it off. It's just held in by clips. That's this fascia here. I've already painted, mine's been painted gloss black. So just pull that off. There's some of these electrical plugs. All the electrical plugs you deal with will be the same. They've got a plastic clip that you need to push in before you can pull it out. Just remember that. If you just try and yank them out, you can damage the plugs. Once you get that, undo these 3 screws. They're just a small Phillips head screw like that. Get focus. And also there's 2 underneath. Sometimes they have an open slot. I've put my radio in there, but there's 2 screws under there. After you've done that, you need to undo this is where your dash usually sits. There's 2 screws at the top. Lower your steering wheel down. You don't actually need to remove the steering wheel, just put it into its last position, and then undo them 2 screws and gently push the top of the dash down, because there's a little lip here. So push the top of it down a little bit and then pull it out, and the whole thing will slide forward a bit. Without too many problems. Next, pull these are your vent, plastic vent guards. What you do is you insert through the top of the vent. There's a little tab at the top, so you feed in your flathead screwdriver through the top, grab the little flap on the roof and pull it down a bit, and then you'll be able to pull the whole thing out. Two screws on your grab handle. They're just Phillips head, so just peel back the little bits of rubber that are on the handle, undo them 2, take the handle off, then just gently, you'll see there's a clip up here. Just gently pry the plastic off at the top and then pull it out sideways, and then yank it out, and that should come out. That's the first stage. Alright, so now you're on the passenger side of the vehicle. What you've got to do, this bit's a bit tricky if you don't know, is you got to stick a pry bar into the bottom section of plastic and pull it down a bit. It'll unclip, and then there's a screw there. Undo that. Once you undo that, you'll be able to grab this plastic fascia, and what you've got to do is pull it out, try and pull it out sideways a bit and then out. That's the only way to get it out, because of the way the side of this marries up with this crash pad here. It's almost tucked into it. So once you've done that, then you've got to stick, again, same as the other side I was talking about, you've got to stick a pry bar into the top of that vent, pull the tab down a bit, and then get your pry bar in behind that and pry it out, and this whole section should come out in one piece just like that. Okay, then what you got to do is remove 2 screws under here, open up the glove box. There'll be 4 screws along the top of the glove box, and 1 just here on the side of it. Then what you do is get a screwdriver, stick it into the top of the glove box and just pry it down a bit. The whole glove box section will just fall out just like that. Okay, so the next bit is getting these vents out. It's heaps harder than it looks. There's 2 clips on each side, 1, 2, 3 and 4, and what you've got to do is push them all in simultaneously. Move the vent sideways to the left and then pull it out. Before you've done that, you need to pop that glove box out like I just showed you, and there's a screw. Now there's plenty of these as we go along. There's a screw that is done in from the back. So this is looking under the glove box. The screw's actually here, so you're gonna have to get a screwdriver on this side, undo that screw before it'll let you pull that vent out. And that's exactly the same as on the driver's side. You need to do the exact same thing. Alright, so start with, there's 2 Phillips head screws where from behind. You'll have to get it in behind the dash, 1 there and 1 here. you're going to have to get a pry bar. That's a handy tool to have to do this job anyway, just a small one. Just pry up the bit of plastic on your dash, and underneath you'll see, if you can see, there's a 10mm socket under there, 10mm bolt. You'll need a socket with a little extension just to get it to fit in. But I've already loosened that off. Now there's a light, little let's see if I can get it to poke through, just like that. There's a light for your you know, sort of a security system, keyless entry thing. There's a black cap on it. You need to pry the sides of the cap off that to get it to go through the dash, because the wiring for it is actually clipped to the dashboard. So, and you're gonna have to break both of these little cable tie things off to be able to get the dash out. So yeah, pop that off, put it somewhere safe. One thing I should mention is 90% of the screws that you're undoing for the dash, they're all the same. They're all like a little grub screw with a Phillips head. So, which is really handy, because then you can just throw them all together in one container, and you know they'll all be interchangeable when you put it back together. Just going around to the other side. So up under here there was a screw on the inside, and see this yellow wiring here? That's your airbag. Don't fuck with it. Either side of this airbag, there was some screws. You can see one hole there, and then there's one up under the other side of it. I can't really get a very clear picture, but if you stick your head down, you'll see them. You have to undo those two as well. At this point, your dash is going to be pretty floppy. It'll almost, most 90% of the screws are done. So, also you've got, so most people will have a stereo with one of these type brackets. Now that screws through the dash and into the metal subframe. So you're going to undo your 4 bolts for that housing. And if you're lucky enough to have a plug-in one at the back of your stereo, then you'll be able to just undo this stereo and pull them out. Mine are actually soldered, so I'm going to have to remove the entire section anyway. Just pull it out and unplug it. So we're back on the driver's side. What I've done, I pull this vent out. Same thing, 4 clips on the inside. You got to push them all together. Jiggle this around because there's a sponge insert here, and pull that out. Unlike the other side, there's no screw underneath, so you don't need to worry about that. I've taken a 10mm screw out of the back of the center of the dash, and also a 10mm nut on the corner. I had to drop this down. There's one screw in the bottom left corner, the rest is clips. So you just undo that screw, which it's actually underneath my brake controller, so I had to take that out. But you won't have that probably, so it's just one Phillips head screw, and then yank this down and just let it rest. There was actually 2, you can see, for the hood release, there was 2 more screws up in there as well, sorry, and then just yank it down and let that fall. Once you've done that, now we move on to undoing all the, I guess what you'd call like a subframe screws, beginning with that 10mm there, and then there are several sections that connect this to the actual metal subframe, which I'll show you now. Okay, so for the final step, passenger side, there's a bolt. It's a golden bolt. Let's see if I've got it here. Just like that. It's the only 12mm bolt that you have to undo, and you'll need an extension, and go up under, so it's normally where your glove box is. Undo that bolt. It's for your airbag, and what you want to do is disconnect the positive and negative of your battery. If you're running dual batteries, which most Patrols probably are, disconnect both the positives and the negative from your starter battery. That should be enough. As a precaution, wrap your actual battery terminals with some electrical tape or something, in case the poles touch, you know, spring back to where they normally sit. Because when you and you want to leave it as well for about 15 minutes just to make sure all the residual power in the car is gone. So I just turn on a couple of my strip lights and that in the back just to make sure, just to get the LEDs to drain whatever was left. And then yeah, you've got your normal clip style connector. Just push down and pull this out. The actual airbag, the female side of the airbag clip will sit here. You'll need some long nose pliers. You just, on the back side of here, you've got like an arrowhead. Just crimp the arrowhead on both. There's two of them. Crimp both arrowheads and just pull the connector out, and then that's your final step. Then you just want to make sure that steering wheel's dropped all the way down. There's actually, I'll just go around to the other side and show you. So your wiring harness, that light that I was talking about, the LED light that you had to take the top cap off, that's cable tied to the dash, so you're gonna have to trim two cable ties off it, and then basically you just lift the dash up and rock it forward. There is some big long pins, like spikes, that go through here. They're not screwed in or anything, but you do have to do like a lifting up action because they're about 4 inches long. You have to lift it up before you rock it forward to get it out. And once you rock it forward, just get someone, what I did was lift it up, rocked it forward, and then pulled it out the passenger door. And then once you're done, you can get your replacement dash, or take your one down, go get it wrapped. I think wrapping's cheaper, but the only thing is some guys don't like to wrap them. One, because of the airbag. They say, oh, you know, the airbag might not activate properly because of the gaps and clearances on this panel here. But you know, if you say to them, look, cashy, no receipt or whatever, they'll probably do it. Or just go to Patrol Apart and order a whole new dash, which is just under $1,000. But yeah, the way I see it, I'm not going to Nissan because they want $2,000 for. They want $2,200 for it fitted, and they want $2,000 just for the crash pads. So yeah, it's just a rip off anyway. And they didn't want to show any goodwill towards changing mine, so I'd suggest not getting it from them. Alright, that's the video. The installation is a reverse procedure of removal. So it also, another trick is just if you're not too confident about putting your like all your nuts and bolts and screws and things, then just bag them up into snap lock bags when you take them out and just label them as you go. It's tedious, but at least you'll know exactly, you know, you won't have any spares left over when you put it back in again. Alright, thanks guys. I got the dash recovered and I've just refitted it. It's opposite procedure to the install procedure that I outlined before. Guys done a really good job. I got mine done at a Marine Trimmers. I took it to the wrap place. They said they wouldn't recommend wrapping it, so the Marine Trimmers put what they call unbacked carpet, and yeah, it's come up a treat. It's sort of like a fluffy finish. I got the bloke to cut a slot in the unbacked carpet for the airbag. Once you feather it back over, you can barely tell it's there. You can in the right light, sort of. I don't know if you can see that, and everything else sort of matches up quite nicely. They rolled the carpet over the lip there, and it's all glued and done really nice. And these panels here are normally this silver color. I didn't really like it, but yeah, I did them a while ago, but they sort of set it off actually. It's that's a 2-pack gloss black with heaps of clear coat. I got heaps of clear coat put on it, so yeah, it really gives it that shiny finish. It looks quite good blacked out. Anyway, I hope this video helps everyone. You know what the Nissans are like. They're really good off-road. They're sometimes it's rough to drive on road, but they are a good car, and in my opinion, they go better off-road than a lot of other major brands. But you know, it's worth putting up with some of their faults for that. Anyway, good luck. Thank you.